Hello and welcome to the Foundry Roundtable, the podcast exclusively covering the Foundry for Star Trek Online. I'm your tame Foundry author, Drogan1701, and if my voice sounds a tiny bit different, it's because I'm in the beginning stages of a cold, which is, of course, lots of fun. But luckily, I have my three healthy co-hosts with me, Markhawkman, Greendragoon, and DuncanIdaho.
Hello. Can be used for spares.
So I assume you're all healthy.
We're going to Dean Drogan back into shape.
And we also have with us a guest who just makes us explode with excitement. Please welcome Admiral Aaron.
Hey, everybody. And if Drogan doesn't feel better, we can always airlock him.
Initiate quarantine procedures.
That is not an effective cure.
It is aboard my ship.
Well, see, it doesn't cure the patient. It just removes the sickness from the ship.
Well, considering what
you
goes
apparently
on...
give Captain Lorca a run for his money.
Well, hey, they based that character off me.
All right, so what we're going to do tonight, because the Foundry is sort of half back, we got missions back up, and even though the editor button has appeared, unfortunately the editor itself is not actually up. Cryptic doesn't know about that, by the way, so I imagine they'll either bring the editor up next week or take down that button.
Yeah. My best guess is that they're going to have the editor back really soon, because it doesn't look like they have anything much that, except maybe they're finishing an auto republish. I don't know.
It's hard to say if there's anything going on in the back end. We did get a couple of fixes in the patch notes this week.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. I forgot to ask if Drogan or Admiral Aaron has gotten any messages about their missions being depublished due to inactivity during the downtime.
No, because I haven't logged into Champs.
I
mean, it does happen, though, and it has happened to me.
Yeah, I got 3 or 4 of them.
But sometimes...
Admiral Aaron?
Do they these messages they send to an in-game chat?
It's a game mail thing. It works the same way as the messages that the in-game auction house things sends you. It's just that for whatever reason, the ones that are supposed to be sent to you from the Stowe Foundry are going to Champions Online.
Oh.
That's been a bug for a long time. One of the more funny bugs, I think.
Cryptic games share a unified mail system, but at some point they kind of tried to separate the games out so that you didn't see mail between different games, and the Foundry probably never got updated.
There are certain mail messages where you really can't use the mail message in a different game, like if the auction house is giving you an item back because it failed to sell, for example. You can't.
Yeah, but those are character specific
that message.
Yeah.
Messages.
So, as far as everything else goes in the Foundry, we haven't seen anything else come up. So I haven't noticed any assets breaking or problems with gameplay or missions or NPCs. But we're going to take a look tonight to see if the teaming bug has changed in any way. I don't suspect so, but I mean, it's always a possibility. And I will say,
to test these things.
Very important note before we get started is that last time we've entered it, Foundry missions with big teams, some of the people get stuck. So if you find that you don't load, this is very important because it could happen to any of us, probably me, but we'll see. If you time out on that first load, you'll try to log back in safe mode. It'll give you that prompt, back to safe mode, then just enter the mission again. It should work just fine. But I do want to point that out so we don't have to spend time talking about it after the fact. So again, if it times out on that first load and it takes you right back to login screen, just go ahead and do the safe login, because otherwise we'll have to exit the Foundry mission and, or else it'll be stuck. So safe login, and then head back to the Foundry door and just enter it and you'll join us.
All right, well.
Thunderstorms roll through and I just heard a huge crack of thunder.
Yeah. Hopefully our stream doesn't go down.
I don't think so. I mean, not unless it knocks out power or something.
Yeah.
Aaron sending explosions.
We're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to play Cyber by StarfererTheta. And with my cold, I'm going to let you guys take the lead on reading dialogue and stuff, and I'll just mute myself so I don't have to, spam
cough
throat clearing on the channel.
Sounds good.
Alrighty then.
Let's get started.
The Iconians left the galaxy at peace under the condition that they, their servants, and their homeworld are to be left undisturbed. But this peace is threatened by an entity known only as Enigma. Head to the Maxia Zeta system Alpha Quadrant to start this mission. Accept.
Let's see, feature story, space ground combat, Fed and ROM compatible. About 45 minutes. Of course, it'll take longer for us.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Co-authors, Gorgonops and P. Sutherland. So me and Paul Sutherland helped contribute, I'm going to say, a tiny bit to this mission. This is StarfererTheta doing one of his cyber missions, or one of his Enigma missions. And we threw in a little bit for the, or for basically a library section, and advised on some dialogue. But yeah, this is his baby. So
Okay.
we'll go ahead and play through.
I thought he had a lot of people contribute to the library. Wouldn't that mean you guys... I thought he borrowed some of you guys' character designs or something.
The library, I've done that too. So that's one that I had a bunch of people. I think maybe I had some from you, Mark. Our character designs too. We've done a bunch of that. This one though was just between us on our little private message thread.
Mm-hmm.
We have a private back channel. We're not plotting to overthrow anything or
something.
Okay, so shall
Fleet
we
Admiral.
proceed?
Fleet Admiral, we've got an incoming transmission from command.
put it through, Fed. Greetings, Fleet Admiral. I'm afraid I'll need to get to the point on this one. Starfleet Command needs you to investigate the colony Arcadia Sigma beyond the Maxia Zeta system. It was abandoned during the Iconian War, but since its conclusion, the colonists have returned to rebuild. It's been 4 days and we've lost contact with them. I will look into it, Admiral. Thank you, Fleet Admiral. We've lost so much during the war. I don't like the thought of losing still more after it. Starfleet Command out. Go to the place. Helm lay a course. Ooh.
Is that your Patrick Stewart impersonation?
Yeah.
We're
missing someone.
4 of 5.
Yeah.
Missing.
We're missing.
Missing. But
Yep,
okay,
there we
there's Valid. Accept.
Crap, I blew up my ship.
Aww.
That was pretty.
Well,
What
I hope
happens
we're
in the
allowed to
loading
say
screen
that
stays
word.
in the loading screen.
How did you blow up your ship?
How it always happens.
Intentionally.
You accidentally decoupled the warp core without engaging the emergency force fields?
Yeah, we'll go with that one.
Yeah.
So are we taking bets on who times out here?
Maybe. So we'll see. I mean, it's pretty slow to load up at start. So if it then takes a while, people get in, someone's stuck, and then it sort of goes to 40, and then you time out, then yeah, that's a problem. So if that happens, just hit the safe login button, and then I'm loading up. Hey.
Me too.
3.
Oh, darn, I'm still
Or-
in the slow loading phase.
Uh-oh.
Up to 4.
Okay, yeah, maybe Dragoon. Yeah, if you log out, safe login, head over to Maxi Zeta, and then just load in and should be fine.
Yeah,
Well,
it still
let's
shows
see if it
Painter's
lets
map
him in.
moving on my screen.
Yep. Well, that's what happened when I couldn't. Me and Mark had issues before.
Of course, the person who timed out had to be our streamer.
Yeah, not usually the one. I'm surprised.
Well, this colony certainly looks like
Oh,
it was
there I go.
bombed in.
Okay, I'm good.
Hey!
Fleet Admiral's log. Our arrival in the Arcadia Sigma colony was greeted with silence. There is no evidence. There is no answers to our hail, and orbital scans show no life signs on the surface. The only thing we have found is an interference signal coming from the colony. I will be leading an away team to conduct an investigation.
End log.
Yeah, I'm afraid that's as close as you can get with that interference signal, but it shouldn't be too much of a walk to the colony.
Understood.
Interference from the colony will hinder our tricorders. We'll need to approach each building separately if we are to have an accurate reading as well as to triangulate the location of the interference signal. Investigate the colony.
Walking. More walking, how marvelous.
You then.
Woohoo.
Ooh, there's a thingy over here.
This is nice looking.
Great at
At
least this half
Scanning.
org all adapt.
Scanning building Alpha. I'm not picking up any life signs in this colony, only the remaining wildlife. Any idea on what happened? There are no bodies and not enough organic residue that would indicate disintegrations. They must have been taken. Keep searching. Let me know if you find anything else.
And I will say, on the side of things, that this might be a little bit of a primer on our upcoming Foundry series, Transcendence. Not directly, but this is kind of what led into it.
I can scan crates.
Scan crates!
These crates are full of food and medical supplies. Where were they left behind?
The attackers forgot? Investigation.
This pad contains the logs of a colonist. Read last entry. Jackson's log. All supplies are accounted for. It ain't much, but it will help us get started in rebuilding this colony. I'm looking forward to putting the war behind me, all that destruction. I hope we can make this place more beautiful than it was before. Finish reading.
Optional dialogue!
Actually, that was 2 optional dialogues.
First one wasn't. That was Investigate Building Alpha, or... Oh,
Yeah,
no,
but-
that was...
I don't think any of those were
Oh,
optional,
The
were they?
crates were an optional dialogue, too.
Okay.
Ew, is this the same pad?
Different one. There's a bunch of recordings here.
Read
Got
pad.
structure to scan here.
This pad contains the logs of a colonist. Read last entry. Book 6 log. This place used to be so much greener. Now there's all this dust and dead trees. Some of the trees and shrubs we think we can save, but we have our work cut out for us. Maybe Arab will finally get to make the garden he's expressed interest in attempting. Personally, I wonder if he's somewhat at home now, considering his planet is mostly desert. Finish reading.
All right, and so I scanned one of the buildings.
There are residual energy readings at these ruins. It's just about what you'd expect after an orbital bombardment. However, my tricorder is picking up more than one type of residual energy signature.
What sort of energy signature?
Plasma, polaron, disruptor, tetryon, and even phaser signatures. Residual herald energy signatures are also present, but are decayed far more than the others. The Iconians were not involved in the second attack.
Someone is covering their tracks.
Or someone just has a rainbow build.
There you go.
Well, it's still the means of subterfuge.
You know what? This gives me an idea. Is that maybe do like that one TNG episode did, and talk about the specific type of disruptor weapon that was used for an attack, and not just say, "Oh, it was a disruptor."
That was in Generations.
Oh, right. Anyway,
Duncan, how is the performance for you on this map?
It's fine.
Okay,
They got the nebula above you.
assets. Yeah, that doesn't bother your computer.
It's only one layer deep.
That's.
It's the overlapping of partially transparent two-dimensional planes. That's what kills my performance.
Oh, okay.
So, why are we gathered over here?
Click the pad.
Let's read this other pad. This pad contains the logs of a colonist.
Read last entry.
I feel like we're going to have to start over from scratch if we want to rebuild our colony. At least I believe that would be easier by many here but many are here optimistic of our abilities to salvage our home. I don't know if it's just me, but the wildlife here seems to have gotten awfully quiet. Maybe they know something we don't.
And finish reading. Oh, that was Sin's log.
Scanning structure. There's no doubt about it. This colony was attacked twice. The first occurred during the war. The second happened 4 days ago.
Same time contact with the colony was lost.
Indeed.
Anything else?
Need time to examine the evidence thoroughly. At the moment, the only conclusion I can make is that the colonists were targeted by an unknown party after returning.
It is unfortunate that these colonists did something. Dang it, I clicked the button before I finished reading
It's
it.
unfortunate these colonists were able to escape destruction only once.
You know, one thing I just thought of here is that the logs we've seen are from a mixture of what appear to be Federation and Romulan. So it would seems to stand reason that whoever attacked the colony is a race that uses Tetrian weaponry.
Maybe.
Don't say, because you clearly have played this before.
I've played. I was the one who recommended it. So.
Yes.
Because this does have my favorite map ever. Later on.
Oh look, I found another data pad.
That explosion wasn't my fault.
I already liked this one.
It was a map triggered thing because when it exploded, the explosion happened. That suddenly there's poofs of steam coming out of this building.
Scan structure. I would advise not entering this building. Its structural integrity has been compromised. Won't be long before it collapses. When that happens, it's possible it'll start taking down the other buildings in a domino effect. The entire colony could disappear. Could be a pile of rubble soon.
Well, we need to wrap our investigation quickly then.
You know, this makes me wonder why Starfleet hasn't invented holographic building supports yet.
Power cuts.
I mean, you just like take the technology of a mobile emitter, put it into an object the size of a small cart, to like a 3x3 box.
A full-on hologram. You could get away with like an instructional integrity field for buildings. I think it would probably just be the resources required to put that in every building.
Well, I mean, it's like a portable device that you could carry to a building that was in danger of collapsing and to use it to keep the building from falling down.
Yeah.
Who says we don't have that?
I could see using it for like, in lieu of a tent. Just take a little holographic building with you when you go camping.
And then reconfigure it as an emergency support structure when you go inside a mine and the ceiling looks like it's about to fall down.
So a lot of uses.
Moving on. Fleet Admiral. I'm picking up a signal originating within this colony. Not a distress beacon. It's possible that this signal is the source of the interference field. Let's take a look.
Oh, there's a pad. Let's read the pad first.
Optional dialogue.
That's another colonist log.
Read the last entry.
For Miho's log. It's going to take some doing, but if we can clean up the mess the colonists left, then we can continue. We can hopefully continue building our space elevator, or try to anyway. The Dixers have been a nightmare since the war. Finish reading. It was interesting because it was a Borgcation.
Yeah, it's one of the stock NPCs.
You do.
Is it possible to make female Cation characters Borg?
With 7 of 9 parts.
Yes.
But that wasn't the 7 of 9 parts.
No, so that was a stock NPC. Ambush!
They think it's an ambush. I think they're lambs to the slaughter.
We'll turn the tables.
Lightning!
I thought you wouldn't mind the assist. Come on, Itrex needs to speak with you.
Who are you and who's Itrex? Still getting the earthquake there.
Call me Bailey. I'm with Starfleet Security. So is Itrex. But I really think we should discuss this elsewhere. Somewhere out of the system, preferably. This place could be crawling with hostiles soon. That is, if that structure doesn't collapse first.
Very well.
Yes, Fleet Admiral?
Beam us up and immediately head out of the system. I'll explain later. Captain's making captain decisions. Don't question captain, or else we'll transfer you to the North Star.
I'm always need more crew.
If the teaming bug is occurring, I mean, we could start hitting here at any minute. Usually it doesn't happen on the first map.
No, it's especially on like a ground to space transition.
I think space to ground is where we usually see it, isn't it?
Yeah. Or one of those. Like, I know it's Legion of Myth will, like, in them doing so many missions that are teamed, I haven't noticed a clear pattern. I've been trying to keep track of it, but...
There's sort of no telling if anything has been changed, but obviously we know some things have been fixed in the Foundry on the back end, so maybe.
Yeah, we'll see.
The thing is, though, is that we don't know for sure if the teaming bug is actually a part of the Foundry itself, or if it's a weird aspect of the game coding that doesn't happen except in Foundry.
Yeah.
But
So,
is not actually direct.
We're still together.
Yes.
Looky there.
I like this map.
Because my personal hypothesis with the teaming bug is that it's related to a form of lag that doesn't normally present itself as an issue unless you're doing a Foundry mission.
Yeah. And I'll say, let's see, what was that?
I was going to say, am I correct? I've seen this map tweeted out before.
Yeah. I may have tweeted it in the somewhat recent past after a playthrough. Just saying, people play this mission. But yeah, this was one of my favorite conference rooms ever created. It's Star Trek.
And we've all tried it.
We've all tried it, but I mean, it's got custom lighting. It's got a very excellent use of small features, lighting effects, carpet effects, and there's a few small things like the puppy. That's Sutherland's beagle. And just to note that these Starfleet security officers are from SSF, but basically, I basically said to StarfererTheta that, hey, there's a bunch of people that I haven't been using for missions for a while. Go ahead and use them. So, Captain Ross. Captain Bailey, pip pip. Listen.
Yes?
Yes. Ross. Why is there a beagle in here?
It looks like Sutherland's dog.
They're calling him Bartlett. I could say that he's a temporary passenger.
A temporary passenger, you say? Cheerio, pip pip.
Well,
you guys
he's
watching
a stowaway.
Beagle?
We're
you
still
guys
trying to
Appear
figure out
obey
how
the
he came
laws
on
of
board
physics.
and who his original owner might be. For now, it's my turn to take care of him.
Keep going with the optional dialogue, or...
Sure.
But why are you keeping him here and not someplace else? Your quarters, for instance. To be proper for a gentleman, pip pip.
He choose.
I see. That reminds me. How are your new accommodations? I hear the captain's quarters get the best.
Having my own captain's quarters has nothing to do with it. I would protect my living space regardless of where or what it was.
Well, who I am to challenge the word of a captain.
Just remember that you are a guest on my ship.
Dear sir, speaking of guests, proceed with the mission. So that is Sutherland, or StarfererTheta attempting to do a Gorgonops-style optional dialogue.
And Gorgonops attempting to do an English accent.
I gotta do it now because
it's dog.
Legion of Myth has made Captain Ross British, so I gotta keep going with it.
I need to hire you to do my optional dialogues. We have some random romantic twists.
Beagle. Do all of the beagles do that weird animation now?
I have no idea.
Not sure. We'd have to test.
I didn't get the option. I didn't get the prompt.
Oh, it's because I pressed it. Can you see the
You
dialogue?
gotta
I gotta
stand up to
stand
see
up.
the dialogue.
Okay. Fleet Admiral person?
Itrix, I presume.
You must be the Fleet Admiral. I've heard a lot about you. Suffice it to say, I'm glad you're here.
You gotta do it with a British accent, apparently.
A bad one.
Yes.
Who are you?
A bad one.
Who are you?
Call me Ross. I was with Starfleet Security. I think you'll want to hear what Itrix has found.
Itrix?
We will need some privacy before we begin. He gestures towards your comm badge. Disable your communications device.
Captain Bailey, is everything secured? Except I'm not Ross, so I shouldn't be British.
The room sensors are offline. The new firewalls have been installed both here and on the Discovery, and on the Irma. As for that's my ship. I need to change the name. As for my implants, anything that can be used as a subspace transceiver has been removed. It should be safe to speak.
So what's this all about?
The ambush on Arcadia Sigma was orchestrated, Fleet Admiral, by an entity to use only known by the name of Enigma.
Enigma?
A networked intelligence whose motives we still do not understand. Many believe it to be simply all gone rogue. But
AI.
Sorry, AI.
All gone rogue! Oh no!
I was wondering about that sentence. I was like,
Captain Gecko Rivera has gone rogue.
Simple Al. He's out to get us.
With cheap car insurance. But I'm of the few do believe it's more than that. I still do not know just what it means yet. How is it threatening the peace?
Just received a tip from a colleague involving unusual subspace readings near the Iconian border. What I found was the remnants of a probe that matches readings taken from ships presumed to be Enigmas. It was destroyed while attempting to gather intelligence on Iconia. I do not need to remind you that our peace with the Iconians hinge on them not being disturbed. Whatever Enigma is planning, it's very likely to result in renewed hostilities.
Won't the Iconians know if it was Enigma and not us?
We can't risk allowing anything to happen which would justify the Iconians' reason for going to war in the first place. I don't think it would take much for them to renew their vendetta against the galaxy, regardless of who pulls the trigger.
The crew member person. Captain Bailey, sensors have picked up an unidentified craft decloaking right on top of us, under our shields. And it's
that's the same guy from the colony. That's the same
Possibly
NPC.
It's the same head. They have got different uniforms. Ready weapons.
Ready.
Are you saying all of those random aliens look alike? That's not very nice.
We are readying. It's bad manners to welcome someone at gunpoint.
Sorry, my itchy trigger finger was acting up.
True. Isn't that right, little guy? Bartlett. Woof!
Well, that's what happens when you dropped in unannounced.
And, friend of the Fleet Admiral. A friend, do you know her?
Amanda helped me gather information on Enigma. She also helped with some other...
Interrupted. I'm afraid this conversation must be cut short. We need to get to Memory Alpha as soon as possible. I've just been informed by my contact there that some kind of virus is taking over one of their data centers. From the way it was described, I believe it must be Enigma.
Memory Alpha allowed is not. It's planet forbidden.
Then we need to get underway immediately. Amanda, you can tell us all you know en route.
We can't go to Memory Alpha. It's haunted. Before we go to warp, would you be interested in some trans-warp upgrades? It'll only be a minute or so to install them, but it'll get us there so much faster. Use all the advantages we can get. I'll inform my engineer, as will I. Amanda, don't drop in like that again. Just ask permission next time. Same goes for my ship. Bailey, there. This move on Memory Alpha could be a diversion or a trap.
Then we need to prepare for both
scenarios.
Orders?
Take us to Memory Alpha. All right, we roll the dice again.
And we get 5 successes. Or
I will
4
say
successes and 1 fail.
I mentioned Memory Alpha in my next mission. So I'm curious what they do.
Someday we will do that Memory Alpha mission.
Last I checked, we still don't have the map itself.
Nope, it's a custom build on this one.
Also, if we did get the map, I would like to have the new one, not the old one. Again, the way I understand it, the old one's unusable anyway, so, you know.
I always thought it'd be cool to redesign Memory Alpha in the Foundry as a kind of part of a proposal to Cryptic to reinstitute it as a lore hub.
Well, I mean, didn't we do that
together?
Where we examined the new version of it, and I mean, it's not.
That was the old version.
Fleet Admiral's log. We have arrived at Memory Alpha, and it appears that the virus Amanda told us about is indeed Enigma's. For what we can tell, it is taking control of nearly every system around one specific data center. Why this data center, we cannot answer at present. Captain Bailey and I have decided to beam to the surface in order to do what we can to combat Enigma's virus. Meanwhile, Itrix and Amanda will make sure nothing happens to the player ship or the Discovery, should the virus become more aggressive. And Ross is keeping an ear to the ground in case Enigma makes a move elsewhere.
They better not blow up my ship.
That's what Tuesdays are for.
Captain Bailey, Enigma is going through a lot of trouble for one data center. My guess is there's something here it's trying to get or to destroy. We need someone to fill us in on what's happening. Captain Bailey. The lead scientist of the data center is Dr. Elenia Pearl. She should be able to tell us all that's happening here. Talk to Dr. Elenia Pearl. Proceed with the mission.
And just a note on Captain Bailey being captain of the Discovery. I wrote that Captain Bailey was captain of the Discovery well before the actual discovery happened.
So 2 things. First off, we are still a team. And second off, this map is cool. I like how it has a different lighting field than the other maps.
I do love the fact that this floor is one of my favorite, actually second favorite feature besides what's in the next room.
This map feels a lot like it has that particle effect that they use for the TOS interiors.
This door is not operational.
It does feel a little fuzzy.
So how do you get the map floor?
I believe it's on top of one of the science buildings.
Yep.
That's what I'm guessing.
That's it.
So this is not a true interior map. It's actually an exterior map that kind of looks like an interior map.
Oh, come on. Who builds a custom true interior map anymore?
I've done a few times. I mean, if you need to use the Utopia Planitia background, it's all you can do.
True.
Apparently this door is not operational either.
Nope. So see that icon on the map? This person we have to talk to right here? I'll indicate with fish.
She doesn't seem to notice you. Dr. Pearl?
Really?
Okay, so the actual objective there was an interact with object, with an invisible object, which had triggered a dialogue that's not actually the results of you talking to the NPC.
Yep. She said she could bring help because we need it. The virus that's attacked our systems is not like anything we've seen before. It's quick. It's intelligent. It was launched by some kind of sentient AI. That would explain a few things. Whatever it is taking control for every system in this building. We can't even get out of the building, and communication with adjacent structures are down. First, We thought it was just some kind of computer core failure until it became clear that it was all too precise. I believe it's after specific information, but I'm not sure what yet. There's any number of things it could be after, but I have an idea of how to stop it, and I will need your help in doing it.
What do you have in mind?
First, we'll need to disconnect our systems from the subspace net. I've been disconnecting transceivers all throughout the facility, but there's one left in the data center. Then, we use the antivirus program. It'll work only for a little bit, but it should buy us enough time to think about something more permanent.
We need to do this now.
The data center is just behind the door. 1, disconnect. 2, upload. Let's go. So this door. The one with fancy stuff.
Important
it's not
looking
locked.
door.
Ah!
I got trapped.
You'll be good in just a sec.
Ooh, Therogen B.
Oh no!
Fortunately, I came prepared.
Enigma has asked us if the environmental systems is putting Therogen B into the room. We only have seconds before we succumb to the effects. Cough. I'll try. Electro weapon.
I think you guys are stuck. Oh crap.
Looks to be you.
Oh god damn it. You're the cameraman and you don't get to see the next room. Oh god damn it. Damn it.
We could team up and bang back down.
It's not going to work that way unless we restart the whole mission and then just sort of proceed.
No, just proceed.
Door.
I will take a screenshot. I will put that in. Yeah, I'll take a number of screenshots here.
Oh my goodness.
I really did not.
Impressive.
I didn't know that door locked behind us because otherwise I would have been a lot more careful.
This is the perils of teaming.
Yeah.
Hey, I just noticed something really cool. Look at the effect my helmet light has on the invisible walls.
All right, so I'm going to be sending screenshots over now for what we've got in this room so the actual stream audience can see all the magnificent buildy stuff. And I'm going to hit an optional dialogue. Boom! So while you're working on that, I'll go ahead and go through this. Specific inquiry? Where I just interacted, just to describe the scene for everyone. There is a large room with lots of really cool stuff in it. I hit a computer terminal with a button. Now it says specific inquiry. Little known factoids. 1. Deltans consider triple bites lucky. 2. Hierarchy females are approximately half the size of males and are slightly blue. There's no Paquilid word for failure. Modern heralds are haploid. Since 2394, Ferengi prep schools have used the human novel Martin Dressler to illustrate the dangers of not trying hard enough. The branch of the Orion Syndicate that deals mostly in the black market art trade uses the symbol of the Ryzen battle axe to represent itself. In 2409, a group of Boslik built a space station with Tholian assistance at the star Beta-Rana. Specific reasons why Tholians chose to construct out of the work are unknown to any other facility. General speculation. Yeah.
You know where those came from, right?
Yeah, I know where those come from. Certain incident. General speculation is that this was done to evade detection as Beta-Rana. Evade detection as Beta-Rana is on the edge of Federation space. However, the station that was built there was built to prevent the Terran Empire from using a weak spot in the point of fabric of space as a doorway into the universe.
So, yeah, I guess he used things from several different people for this.
Yeah, so he did have a thread going for this one. So, yeah, that'll appear in the credits. The first few are ones that I wrote. I'm proud that I was able to get a Martin Dressler joke into this from language arts class. Yeah, for people who have read that book, the lesson isn't the danger of not trying hard enough, but Frankie, yeah, they might see that. So let's go through more while Greendragoon is still working.
Hang on, I'm trying to get your screenshots up.
In Sisimic Square on Talos 4, there are bronze statues of ex-spacefarers Christopher and Vina Pike, whose engineering knowledge is said to have saved the city from starvation in the 2270s after the infrastructure keeping it habitable began to fail. Terra Nova Colony exports large quantities of turnip leaves to Tellar, where they are considered a delicacy and eaten raw with vinegar. The high cobalt.
Okay, actually.
The high cobalt concentration in the soil of the southern continent is said to give the leaves particular flavor. There's a species of triple that thrives underwater. They were discovered in 2408, surprising the discoverer Lethlev. A variety of this species was discovered later that hunts fish in packs.
Interesting.
I didn't read that one before. Okay, log off.
Aquatic predatory triples.
That hunt in packs. Okay, so anyway, we're in the data core of Memory Alpha.
Let's see what happens if I push this button.
What do we get for that button? Specific species inquiry.
Nive 4. Indigenous sentient species, Niveans. Political status as of 2410, non-aligned. Independence recognized by United Federation of Planets, Klingon Empire, and Romulan Republic in 2409. Nive system located in formerly non-aligned space near former Romulan neutral zone. Capital city located on western shore of Naronak Ocean. Developed warp drive in the early 24th century, but all warp-capable ships destroyed by Romulan Star Empire during invasion in 2430s. More. Population decimated by Imperial Romulan plasma bombardment known as Great Burning, which led to societal collapse and Romulan conquest. Government in exile established on Andoria. Imperial Romulan occupation overthrown in 2409 with assistance from the Romulan Republic. Planet surface nearly destroyed by satellite base Theta weapon destroyed. Deployed in orbit as Romulans evacuated. Weapon self-destruct instead. Resistance leader Brecca, appointed head of transitional government, remains in that role as of 2410. Small Nevaean diaspora remains off-world, including at least one Nevaean serving in Starfleet, Lieutenant Commander Shiloh Fronti, Chief Engineer USS Pax Federatica. I wonder who wrote this one.
Yeah, comes from his missions.
Let's
back. Unity Games 2408.
Let's see. Gonna do specific inquiry. Oh, okay. Okay, here's okay, so I found another one. We got specific information on the Askar, the Ibi, the Guardians, the Venat Pin Go, and the Sinar.
Do you want me to read the one about the Unity games first?
We can skip that one.
Okay, do we want to find out any more information about Askar, Ibi, Guardians, Venat Pin Go, or Sinar?
I think we can move on.
Okie dokie.
While recognizing the effort gone to for all this, and getting all of these.
We don't have to do all the optional dialogue. Yeah, but anyway, this was like a big community contribution to get a lot of these log entries going, because it's hard as one author to write all this stuff out. So we are uploading various components for the next map. It's no good. Enigma's virus is still able to communicate with the subspace net and has retained control of environmental systems. Atmospheric toxicity levels are still rising.
I'm in an EV suit. Who cares? One sec. Before we go on, I want to mention that the one about the that Olympic Games thingy is kind of amusing, because it discusses the effect of having liberated Borg attempting to compete in an athletic event. That's hilarious.
Okay, so moving on. I have an idea. It's dangerous, but if you'll stand in that interface pod, I can upload your consciousness into the data center. Then you can operate that in the virtual world. Memorize this hard reset code. If you can get this to the environmental systems in the virtual world, you can shut it down. Access the virtual world by entering the interface pod. We are trying that. Interface. Oh wait. Which one is it? Okay, it's this one. So we're entering a pod, and we'll be transitioning to another map, and we'll get our cameraman back. Ready?
Yes.
Does anyone else think it's not a good idea that the three of us transfer a conference at the same time? Consciousness at the same time?
It'll be fine, because my EPO is on the side, and it is supervising, and things will turn out just fine. So go ahead and accept
that. Yeah, because things always turn out just fine when you take your consciousness into a computer.
Yeah. So I
the Matrix was a comedy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
okay. I really hope that we are together on this map, because this is my favorite ever. Well, my favorite of things that have been published, Transcendence does blow this one out of the water a little bit for what StarfererTheta has done. He needs more kudos.
Well, we're going to give him plenty on this stream.
So I just hope we're all together for this one, because that'll be fun.
We've been successful
I will
so
say
far.
the map was cool.
All right, loading in.
Yeah, I just thought of how much I want to make a full-blown Fortress of Solitude interior.
Reset environmental systems at Junction 1. Disconnect data center from subspace network at Junction 2. Destroy sensitive data at Junction 3. Note, if you fail and are wearing an environmental suit deactivate, this will allow you to respawn on the platforms. Mark.
Proceed with the mission. Yeah. Environmental suits will screw this up because you can fall, and this is a jumping puzzle with a fail state. So if you fall, you die and then respawn, and then you get to have another go. I've tested this one. It works out phenomenally well. I haven't had any issues with it, so long as you're not wearing that EV suit or have it active. Just to let you know that there's a lot of optional dialogue here, so if you guys want just to keep moving, we can go ahead and just focus on the marked objectives on our mini-map.
This is not like the others. At a cursory glance, it bears a remarkable similarity to a memory engram.
Access to data block.
You did a
Lots of
at
code.
Vision.
Lots of writing.
Lots of code. We can go ahead and move on. Because we need to take a look at the map. Map is the important part here.
I wonder, did StarfererTheta draw inspiration from the level in Mass Effect 3 where you go into the Geth consciousness?
Is it just me, or is this a low-G environment?
It is low-G. That's how we can do all the jumpy stuff. Because some of it can get pretty crazy.
It's definitely a unique map.
Yeah, and he's got some of the... he's repurposed the sky traffic as things flying directly through this environment.
This looks really, really cool, especially with the way the horizon fades out.
Yeah, he's defined the horizon, the up, down, and far away, with giant foundation blocks, too. So there's even texture and appearance of structure.
Mm-hmm.
I might need to have him teach me which backdrops and stuff he used, because it could be useful for something I've got going.
Yeah, this white fog effect, I'm curious which assets used for that.
I have no idea. I think that might be an outdoor, we're on an outdoor map, I think. Oh, no, we're in an indoor map. Holy crap. We're on an ESD.
Yeah, that does appear to be so.
Oh, I thought we were always on an outdoor map. Okay.
Okay, no, so we're accessing the junction.
Yep. Environmental systems accessed.
You set environmental system to standard parameters.
Operation is invalid.
Explain.
This operation isn't valid.
Enter the hard shutdown codes. Loading! Overload! Safety mechanisms engaged! Environmental systems are shutting down! Very small victory, person.
So that was basically the AI trying to prevent us from doing stuff.
Yeah.
I just noticed that there are two different shapes of flying shuttlecraft in this thing.
Yeah, the sky traffic uses a bunch of different shapes. They're all 2D assets, and this is one of the few times you can really get up close to them because he's put them directly on the same plane.
It comes from Defera.
Yeah.
The asset does. Or the, it's an FX thing.
Well, I mean, one of them looks a lot like one of the generic ship thingies. The other one I'm not entirely sure about because it has a weird ring-shaped design.
Yeah, they're all 2D assets, so Cryptic could have just created those fresh, took screenshots, whatever. A bunch of options.
Well, see, the thing about the one that is interesting to me is that it has a ring that's apparently a flat ring, that has the engines attached to one side of the ring and the deflector on the other side of the ring, and engine pods on the sides.
Easier to examine on Defera because they're just all over the place, and you look up and you get the full view, not side on. So authorization needed to access classified data.
Use access code.
Access granted.
Check the most recent files accessed.
Most recent file accessed. Report from Ascar Frontier.
Access file.
Name redacted. Vessel redacted.
Oh, we know who that is.
Confirmed report on the destruction of New Kappa colony. The planet was completely destroyed. Method of destruction believed to be Ascar's new dark matter weaponry last seen in the war. We'll continue investigating. Transmission lost. It's too late, person. I already have what I need. Classified data erased.
Log off.
I'm gonna go this way. Whee!
I feel like this AI is taunting us.
Yep. Oh no! Didn't make it.
Everyone wants to see what happens when you jump off this side.
It looks like an
hey, when the
game.
ships just flew through me.
You know what it looks like? Is it? It's not Centipede. What's the other one? The Space Invaders from down here.
Oh yeah.
The jumping on various blocks reminds me of Qbert.
I'm dead.
Yeah, I was thinking of Qbert earlier myself.
Or even Marble Madness.
So what happens if you jump off with a suit? Does it mean you go to the bottom of the ESD map?
Yeah. No, you hang out at the bottom, and instead of coughing and dying, you just you don't do that. Okay, so moving on to the last one.
So I thought they were jumping puzzles. This is just a convoluted walkway.
This part, but to get to some of the optional dialogue, there are big jumping puzzles. That's what we were just attempting to do. So, it's basically to keep this from being too inaccessible for the main path, but if you really want to branch out, you can start going to some of these other areas, such as right behind here, and then start exploring that space.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of treats for the more adventurous.
Accessing junction.
Network settings accessed.
Access files.
Disconnecting. Error. Unable to disconnect.
Retry.
This operation is invalid.
Enter reset code.
System reinitializing.
Shut down all subspace network ports.
Proceeding with this operation will disconnect the system from the subspace network.
I don't care. Do it anyway.
System disconnecting. Unable to connect to subspace network.
You bastard computer.
I feel like this should be read like a... just barely made it.
I didn't make it.
Wait, no. Okay.
I almost overshot.
Yeah, Drogon made it.
This must have taken forever to build.
I know.
Especially if you're tinkering with all of these different things to jump off of.
Imagine testing it
repeatedly.
Okay, so that way goes back to the main part, and then here's the option dialogue on this side.
Oh, hey, I fell off.
Mark's down.
Wow, it looks really cool down here. You look up and you see these white outlines of all of the floors.
Yeah.
Access the data block.
Surveillance signal received. GSS Venice, Guardian Paladin class dreadnought. Antara. Father, my Emperor. I know that you intend to call diplomatic conference with local powers and those alliance to solidify our position here. We should invite Zalcor. The Master would be a powerful force. Not to mention, we have them to thank for the peace with the Iconians. Other person. Wolfinko. I agree with you. The Master would. also has experience with many of the groups which may attend, both feared and respected. Zalcor may be willing to assist us or come on behalf of their own people. We shall see. We will serve on Zalcor and continue to do so after all the Master saved us from extinction and terror. There was another sense of presence. We're being watched. I feel it too. You are adept at masking yourself. You can be no more. I've seen you. Unit detected. Exit data block. So a lot of the optional dialogue here is going to be basically Enigma's own surveillance logs of other powers. I wrote a couple for Starfleet security. Let's see. It involved tribbles. Okay, so back over to the. Oh yeah, okay. Before Admiral hits that, Aaron hits that. Everyone must gather on this platform.
Yes, if it's gonna.
Everyone must gather over here because there might be problems.
Ah, crap! I fell off again.
T-minus 5 seconds.
We're not gonna make it.
All right. It's amazing how long it takes my guy to die of environmental hazards.
Oh, let's see.
Actually, you know what? I think my armor actually reduces the damage I take from environmental effects.
I'm sending out beacons.
Follow the lightning.
Actually, I know.
There's Mark.
There we go. Hit the button. Exit. Whee!
And we fell into a pit. Hello, pit.
Assess your situation. Fight thingies! Oh crap. Need equip remodulator.
Modulate this. Yes, that's right. It's a Tholian sword. I mean, I'm using all the other Tholian stuff. Why not? Hey. Hey, wait. I think I see something over here.
Resist Enigma's influence.
There's a Borg stuck inside this stupid wall.
We did. There is one over there. Oh, he fell out, actually. Theta! Best one! Does anyone have a quantum mortar?
Sorry.
No. I'm a science officer.
I'm an engineer. I've got drones. Sometimes they
drones might be able to fly up over the wall or something.
Here, let's see.
I got like
I
one.
can see him up there.
Yeah, he. No! Oh, what happened? Okay, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, Theta. There's it's going to be a problem with this guy being too close to a ledge, and the game kind of spawning him somewhere. So he's got something going on with his Y coordinates, and the game didn't plonk him in here. They plonked him up there. So
that's right. Theta's been doing that trick where you spawn people above the ground, but he's doing it too high. He's putting people like 4 or 5 meters up.
So he didn't move though. He didn't move the Enigma spawn. So the game put him to the closest ledge possible rather than down here with us. So
you can hit him from down here though.
Yeah. So if you got a sniper rifle, I actually will. Do I have a sniper? Just checking my bots right now. Oh wait. Is that? Also, wave, damn it. Wait a minute. There we go.
There's one on each side, though.
Uh-oh, knocked him back.
There's one over here, the one that's inside the wall. Oh, wait, no. The one I'm looking at, it's like rapidly like bouncing around. It's... Wait, it's dying now? Oh, it fell into the environmental hazard.
And so we just got that one. Oh, yeah, but it's problem solving itself. Okay, so that one is dead.
No, wait, no. It just jumped back.
Ops button. Ops button. Wait, no. Objective complete.
Die.
Ooh, we got it.
Apparently staring at it caused it to decide to jump. So, how do you guys like the green glow effect?
Series of images briefly flash in your mind's eye. Weapon schematics, an Askar commander, and the location in Askar's space. This could be a glimpse into Enigma's next move.
No barriers between minds here.
Shield your eyes.
It's a blinding light.
That was a cool map.
Yeah, a couple of quirks in it, but nothing that can't be fixed once the editor's back up.
StarfererTheta says it's actually the antagonist intentionally glitching to make it difficult for us.
The AI is onto us. He's altering the Foundry mission.
Enigma has become self-aware.
He's aware of the fact that he's a computer program inside a computer game.
Turns out this extended Foundry downtime was his work all along.
That's probably why it's still down.
It's infected the main game.
So in a way, that actually makes it StarfererTheta's fault.
Yes.
That will not stop us from blaming Primar.
Okay. Oh, you get to see this area.
Fleet Admiral, you're all right. Your vitals were becoming erratic.
I'm fine. How is everything here?
She takes a moment to look around. Primary environmental systems are shutting down. Emergency systems are activating, which should mean that the air filters should engage. She taps her comm badge with no response. I am still unable to communicate with any of the other facilities, but I can deal with that without worrying about being slowly poisoned to death. The database is finally cut off from the subspace network. That should isolate the virus until we can safely eliminate it. To us, you were only in there for a few seconds.
Fascinating. I had to confront Enigma within its own realm. It did not seem like seconds.
You did? But that would mean that the virus was some part of Enigma itself. Interrupted.
Doctor, there's been significant drop in life signs in this building.
What? Investigate.
Are these the same consoles with the same dialogue options?
Same consoles. Yeah, he duplicated the map, so there's not going to be anything new in those. But yeah, you guys get to see on the stream all the lovely work here.
Yay!
It is nice.
And now you get to see what my helmet light does to the Invisivals.
This is actually glass.
It's the new Ramos glass.
It still looks rather amusing.
I actually can't see it.
Yeah, I wasn't able to see it. It might be a player per.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys have reflections turned off on yours.
Yeah, I've got them on.
Settings are maxed out.
Yeah, it might. Yeah, it wasn't that full light, so it might be something that's generated only for a player on their own instance.
What happened?
Wait, I see dead people. There weren't even people here before.
Enigma wasn't just trying to kill us. Everyone here was a target. Why? It was eliminating witnesses. Internal comm systems were down, so the rest of Memory Alpha wouldn't know what was happening. I'm sorry, Doctor. We're silent. Captain Bailey, we should... Wait, I still don't understand what Enigma... why Enigma would be here. Unless she quickly hits for console. Atalanta? Fuck. Just as I thought, someone was working on an artificial intelligence right here. Enigma found out and had it destroyed. Enigma is here to hunt and kill another artificial intelligence. It's clear Enigma would suffer no rival of its own kind. If it's been through, if it's being this thorough, then we must know that the Iconian fleet is too powerful for the rest of the galaxy. They could destroy it as well as us. It can't restart the war unless it brings both the Alliance and the Iconians to parity. The war would last longer. It would finish off the victor. Matter of fact, recount our experiences. We have been strangely fortunate. We can proceed to that location as quickly as we can.
You didn't read all the dialogue. There's a line at the bottom that goes, but it would need, ever heard of the secret Askar weapon?
Hope you stop that thing. It's taking too much already. We will.
What's going on down there? We lost communications for a while.
Plot course towards Askar space as soon as we beam up. But I don't want to beam up. It's such a pretty map.
We're beaming up.
I don't want to have anything to do with the Askar.
Oh.
Well, what if having to do with the Askar involves shooting them?
Pretty much everything does.
Yeah. And was it Sir B who subsequently made more missions with Askar?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, Sutherland originally conceived the Askar as a kind of like a lawful neutral race, and then other people kind of saw them being more as chaotic evil, even though that's not the way he'd originally conceived them.
Sometimes things take on a life of their own.
Well, it's in part because of the fact that the Askar are willing to do,
crazy things.
Anything.
Yeah, and I think Sutherland just kind of took that also one step further with the his Terran Empire series too, where they're just full on psychotic.
Fleet Admiral's log, supplemental. We are on our way to Askar space in search of a ship called the Leviathan. Whatever it is on that ship is integral to Enigma's plan. If Enigma can be prevented from obtaining whatever it needs now, it'll be that much harder for it to do again once the Askar have been made aware of the danger.
End log.
Okay,
so log, launch fighters.
Quick question. What do you guys think of the author essentially creating a captain's log for your character during the mission?
It's interesting.
It's a good recap because it's a little intricate for the plot, and it's good to have just that forceful, here's what's going on.
Mm-hmm. So interesting. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, because I've done it in my missions, I've gotten feedback either way that people do and do not like it. So it's sort of,
some people
one of those things. Some people do, some people don't. Yeah.
I haven't done a captain's log like that. What I'll do is just basically have a character, like a bridge officer or a character following along with the mission, do that kind of just subtle recap, but I can't go into as much detail because it's just it's a more casual conversation. So it can be, you can work around it if you don't put information there in the same way with a within the dialogue, but a captain's log is very direct, and I mean it can work. I mean, especially for some writing styles.
It depends on how you write the captain's log.
I think it'd be kind of fun
to write it.
I've seen some people attempt to do that and write a very specific style that only makes sense for James T. Kerr and most other Federation officers know, and is just, good if you're writing for a specific character.
What could be
Which
fun
kind
to
of
do,
makes me think that they were writing for their character and it didn't work so well for others.
Yeah, you kind of run into that. That's why I always like to keep the captain's dialogue to short. But what could be fun is you could do maybe like a build your own captain's log. So they have dialogue options and they pick how the captain's log goes or what the tone of it is.
Well, that also has the issue of you have to make the entries varied, but you sometimes run into situations where when people do that, their thought patterns immediately go in directions you never even considered.
Yeah, but that's true of like all RPGs.
Yeah. I will say that another thing you could also do with these captain's logs is also do include day-to-day operation stuff too, just as a little bit of frisance. And I've done similar things to that of the captain talking about what's going on in the ship, like why they missed certain character on board in between map changes, and that can be pretty fun because you can get to some interesting stuff like, I was practicing the saxophone, I was doing this, I was doing that. One I had was basically, it's like, so that's why you missed my Beta Z wedding.
Mm-hmm. So what I was going to say is the warp-in effect that he used. I recently tested the limitations on that. I found out that you can't build an entire space map with that, which was what I was trying to do. There's a good reason behind why I was trying that. But which will be made clear once I release Extinction. But
anyways,
there's a very long limitation. You can only have a certain amount of space before it just doesn't work anymore. So I learned that. So you can't have an entire map of that.
No, I'm sure it's subject to LODs. So beyond a certain distance, it just doesn't render.
It just exactly.
And just to let you guys know, there's a slight frame rate drop for me on this map if I fly like this. Because I know, see, well, only slight right now. Yeah, it's not too bad. Lighting 2.0 did help out a little bit, just to make the game run a little bit better. So it's not horrendous unless someone basically just fills a map completely with that, kind of like what happened in 3-Star Tale Part 2, that nebula. So anyway,
that was way overboard.
Planetary debris is affecting our sensors, but I am reading a scattered energy field within the debris field. You will need to get closer for a more detailed scan. Head towards the strange readings. Take us in.
Begin skin. Sensors are reading something out of the debris field. It's an Askar warship. They're hailing us.
On screen. What? If it weren't the if you weren't the Scorpio, I would have ended you right here. But I can't risk drawing attention. Destroying you would bring. So I must ask you to turn back immediately. Supreme Commander, we have reason to believe that you are in danger. Anyone here is in danger? It's not us. Well, the capabilities of this ship are classified. I can assure you that. Just to someone off screen. What is it? The vessel has dropped out of warp. It appears to be Cardassian? Hail the newcomer.
Open hailing frequencies. I see the source was useful after all. Fleet Admiral, I have been waiting for this moment. The True A are not the only people you made your enemies. Someone wants you out of the way as much as we do, and they are paying a rather... Another vessel is dropping out of warp. They are hailing. On screen.
Starfleet, this is the True Way. This is IRW Incendia. We recently received information that the Askar are working on a weapon that much too powerful for anyone else who is so aggressive. I advise you do not get in our way while we deal. Interrupted.
Another ship is dropping out of warp. They're also hailing.
Other ships just showing up cannot be a coincidence. Hail them.
Aha. The source was trustworthy after all. You will all make fine trophies. Cuts transmission.
Red alert!
Red alert.
All ships charge weapons. Bailey. Yeah. Player ship. I know you're about to have your hands full, but our long-range communication sensors have also picked up several unidentified contacts heading towards your position. We're trying to get to your position before they do. Defeat all hostile vessels. Thanks for the info.
Thanks for the info.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Oh, God. Oh, God. 5 players teamed up. This is not going to go well. Fire everything.
Well, I'm taking a pounding.
I'm actually doing not bad.
I was sneaky. Oh, I should have done engineering team at first.
Why did you have to feel the need to label ships enemies?
We had some allies too.
Yeah, but we don't automatically target those.
For some players it could help because it is very, very, very thick and that's...
I'm wondering if maybe that was something that's really more for his benefit inside the editor.
I'm picking up new contacts on sensors. They will be in weapons range shortly.
Prepare to engage.
Sir, sensors are picking up a vessel attached to the Leviathan's hull. It must be one of Enigma's.
Prepare an away team. We can't just let them take whatever's over there.
There. I'll join you. Yeah, I'll join you. I might know where Enigma's prize could be.
Very well.
Hey, Pep, I'm going with you too. I have a feeling that you'll need all the help you can get, Cheerio.
Your help will be appreciated.
Shall we tell the Leviathan of your intentions?
Nah.
Don't bother.
There's your eyes.
Woo.
Oh boy.
Well, Leviathan, prepare for an entire away team of fleet admirals.
Fleet Admiral for its Admiral. You're a Fleet Admiral, I'm a Fleet Admiral.
Things will probably vaporize just because I looked at them.
Don't worry, I'll head right to engineering. I know what to do.
This guy doesn't actually use anything hot. He just freezes everything solid and then they shatter to dust.
It's the diplomatic delegation of murder.
We come in peace. Shoot to kill.
Kill to shoot.
Or just freeze them solid and leave them in cryogenic stasis until you get bored of looking at them.
The Askar weapon must be towards the center of the ship. We better get to it before Enigma does.
Let's move on.
Discovery to Fleet Admiral Dragora. Or person. The enemy contacts have arrived and open fire at any moment. Just that you should know.
Acknowledged.
Fleet Admiral player, I object to your presence aboard my ship. We can handle this.
Submarine Commander, you will do well to accept our help.
Or you and your team would just get in the way of my commandos. The best the Askars have to offer.
Good luck with that one.
Consider this. Your odds will increase if you accept our help.
You've made your point, Fleet Admiral. But know this. If you take anything, even tell anyone that what you've seen on this ship, it will be considered an act of war against the Askar. Reach the Askar weapon.
Duly noted.
How is there an optional dialogue here? Whatever.
Yep.
That wasn't my fault.
Yes, it was.
I'm now ringing with ham sandwich.
Guess we're not going that way.
Figures.
Oh, and my tricorder is pointing at the optional dialogue.
Yeah, this way.
Sandwich running here and there. Sandwich. Shoot them with my beer.
Ah, they used Herogen for this. How cute. I'm gonna stab them.
They're no match for my search for Spock phaser.
So, we're pretty far into this and still no teaming bug.
Yeah.
We did have that one thing pop up at the first map transition, but yeah.
Well, I mean, we're all here.
Bench.
Hey, it's Fluffy.
So it's been sealed. And not even the Ascot can get through it. Enigma must have accessed and locked. Interrupted.
Tell us something we don't know. If this Enigma gets its hands on, we should just blast through the thing.
Open!
I believe this idea has merits. I'll landmine it.
I just blew up the whole wall instead of the door.
And I'm switching back to tomorrow.
Hey, my EV suit's about to come in handy. Stupid things think their gas drones are actually going to have an effect on me. Oh, I can't go that way.
Someone likes their earthquakes.
Put those fires out. Tasso, come in. They have the catalyst. We repeat, Enigma has the catalyst.
Listen. Ah! They've gone to warp, and we can't go after them. They've managed to disable our FTL drive. Everyone, first priority is to get back online, now.
Fleet Admiral,
come in. A big bit's pulled out, but we are unable to pursue. They've released some kind of an energy pulse that destabilizes warp fields. It's temporary, but...
Temporary is all Enigma deeds.
You guys had that.
What was their
Harmony.
last heading?
They're heading for the Beta Quadrant, Iconia, if you want to be precise.
Understood.
Fleet Admiral.
We're just falling into this now. Okay. Someone's got to do it.
Fleet Admiral, we cannot let Enigma to continue to have that weapon. That technology belongs to us.
We don't want to see that tech in its hands as much as you do.
I hope someone has an idea on what to do now. I'm all out of... Why is she looking at me in that way? I've seen reports mentioning a rogue operative at Atlanta. If the descriptions are accurate, you must be her. See. Seem to share the same name as your prime. For the record, there's no relation. If we can discuss this elsewhere, we should really deal with our current problem. I have an idea, Pip, but you're not going to like it.
Is it the Spore Drive?
It's Captain Ross's
tardigrades.
Well, Fluffy looks kind of like a tardigrade.
We haven't, my plan is for the next XSF, there's going to be optional dialogue that's going to reference Lieutenant Tardy. Flat out. Hopefully by the next 10 Ford Weekly, StarfererTheta wrote a tardigrade short story, and hopefully that's going to be read out by him.
I like this map. It's cool.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed here is that my helmet light actually it gives a glare off of whatever this Invisiwall or whatever is, but it also illuminates what's on the other side.
I really like the ceiling detail on that one too. It was the usual combination of things.
So, out of curiosity, do you guys feel that in the time of the Foundry that map builds have just gotten more and more complex?
Yep.
In general.
There
have been people who, even in the past, like years ago, did stupid, insane builds, but things like that were, at one point in time, only things certain people did because most of the rest of us just didn't know how. And then over time, there's just more and more people who know how to do that stuff.
And I think it's just, a cycle for each author as well.
I just wonder if it's like the Foundry maturing as a a collective art group.
And just for me coming in, I always started with the super complex builds because I'd seen Purity. That was kind of where I was coming from. So once you see it as a new author coming in, you know that's the bar. And I made a conscious effort to try to reach up to it. So I think that could definitely be said that the Foundry is growing more complex, especially if you look at kind of analogous missions of the sort of I don't want to call them mid-tier in a sort of classical sense, but just like missions that aren't going full out now versus then. I think there is a big difference.
I was certainly inspired to build by Alimax, so.
Yeah, I mean, having seen the ridiculously insane things makes you realize that your stuff really isn't as awesome as you think it is.
And it makes you want to do awesome stuff.
Yeah, basically, Johnny.
It's like, I had, if I could do this or I could do that, which looks so much cooler.
Yeah, I'm totally not competing with Johnny Snowball at this point.
I don't think any of us are.
No.
Time is short. We're out of options. Enigma intends to use the Askar technology in an attack on Iconia with the goal of restarting the war. Our plan is to
never mind. Hold on.
Our plan is to stop it is to obtain and modify an Iconian virus and then attempt to infect Enigma with it. Itrex and Amanda have been working on a way to minimize the risk to the ship. The Discovery will be on the lookout for any vessel approaching Iconia, assuming one hasn't arrived already. The Askar Leviathan will be lending a hand with the upcoming engagement, but they have made it clear that their first priority is to retrieve their stolen technology. Hopefully this will all be done before the Iconians detect us.
And log.
Inquiry Fleet Admiral, won't our actions to stop Enigma also risk restarting the war?
I'm afraid we have no other choice.
Approaching the Iconian border. Drop out of warp.
Take us out of warp.
Flotium.
Sensors indicate that there's a satellite emanating Iconian energy readings nearby. It could be a sentry. The course to intercept.
Scorpio, we've detected an energy signature approaching the Iconian border. We'll investigate to make sure it isn't someone with navigation problems. If, on the other hand, approach Iconian
My ship will be ready in time.
Provoke the satellite.
Success! We're now infected by an Iconian virus.
Yay!
He said my ship never.
Prepare to blow up.
Status!
It hasn't destroyed us yet.
Noted.
Player ship. That vessel that is heading towards the Iconian space is not answering our hails. It could be Enigma.
Can we intercept?
I believe we can. But the ship is moving at an impressive speed with an erratic pauses. Vessel just took a hit from a high-speed projectile. I'm reading critical damage to multiple systems. It seems to have lost propulsion.
Who fired
the
shot?
Leviathan is
hailing us.
Guess I may be right. On screen.
I believe sniping a target from 1,000,000 kilometers away is a fine demonstration of my ship's capabilities. Now the target should be helpless while you upload the virus and retrieve our technology.
Let's finish this. I also do like the premise here that Ross had a really sort of like, I've got an idea to save us all, and then has done nothing to help. You guys take care.
Alright.
We're surrounded. Evasive action.
Whoa, that took me out really
I know
fast.
Exactly what we're surrounded by.
The sound you're hearing, I think, is my Polaron exotic damage build in the background.
Spared no expense. And PAX, unfortunately, no spoilers in chat about the next episode because I'm not watching it until tomorrow evening.
I uploaded the virus.
Things are happening.
Virus successfully transferred to the Enigma vessel. Awaiting results.
Status on enemy vessel.
Analyzing. Sensors are indicating that it's... Go ahead, Mark.
Sensors are indicating that it's becoming dormant. All Enigma vessels are becoming dormant. What about the ASCAR device?
We have what we came for. Player ship. Cuts transmission.
Not even thank you. Gaskarv left the area.
It appears that our job is done.
Admiral, sensors have just picked up several Iconian vessels entering the area. Being held!
On screen.
At least they're talking.
How does an Iconian sound?
I thought we made it clear that we were not to be disturbed. As was our terms. Asking for too much?
We were just leaving.
The Marin is a Space Southern Belle.
Everyone, let's get out of here. After we collect our loot, because we don't want to leave random bits of junk in Iconian space.
Yay!
Fleet Admiral,
reviews are down.
The comment thingy is offline.
Yeah.
We've received transmission from an unknown source that appears to be personally addressed to you.
I'll take this in my private area.
Wounded me! You wounded me!
Oh, you survived. Thanks for playing Cyber. I hope that you have enjoyed playing this mission. You have been granted access to an emergency author hologram. Oh, I didn't know about this one. To learn more about this mission, if unknown, take a break. It's unknown, so don't break it. I'm going to access this one.
I say if they want to find out what it says...
They can find out, but I have to see... Okay, I got to see what he did for the EAH, just personally.
That's the probe.
This is amusing.
Okay. Oh, he didn't use an animal!
It's the drone thingy.
Oh, no, he did. It's just, he set it to default costume, so there's a Epo in some of these other ones. So he's just got to finish that one off. Love it. Okay. Deactivate EAH. So yeah, that was the mission.
And no teaming bug in evidence.
And I didn't blow up.
Okay, so we got... Yeah, so we've got one success for no teaming bug problems, even with 5 people, which I thought was pretty amazing. But one loss for Admiral Aaron not blowing up. So we break even!
I blew up once, for what it's worth.
So the mission.
I liked it, although it requires a lot of previous references.
Yeah, this is heavily integrated into my stuff, Sutherland stuff. So yeah, that is sort of, for me, it's easy to pick up on that one naturally. But yeah, I mean, this one would be tough for players to kind of jump right into cold. I mean, there's the dialogue options there, but we definitely, Sutherland definitely wrote it for a continuation of the series. And I will say for Transcendence, we're a lot more careful on that one. Even though a couple of characters from this one appear in that. So yeah, it's kind of like just sort of playing around to like doing a really strong cross-series mission. And StarfererTheta has been really good at just sort of driving right home to the to some of the dialogue styles and some of the other stuff. And he's really just basically knocked it out of the park on Transcendence. But yeah, I absolutely love the maps on this one. Dialogue, he's still kind of getting the hang of it, like writing something like this complicated, this intertwined with this many different dialogue styles. But yeah, I think it came together pretty well. And oh god, just the maps. Love those.
Yeah, the maps are top notch.
He mentioned in chat a while back that his future missions should be a step up as far as dialogue goes.
Yeah, he's put a lot of work into that, and he's done a lot with polishing, editing, and just trying to get the feel right. And when I'm reading like his new stuff, and reading his optional dialogue of one of my characters, it's like it just feels natural. So he's really kind of getting into that, the spirit of like what most Foundry authors don't really do unless they're writing for a established character, is how to write for someone you didn't write yourself. And especially if it's another Foundry author, I find that really, really tough for me. I can kind of get a better feel for someone who's appeared in Star Trek Online, like when I've got more visual and more dialogue, auditory dialogue to play with. But yeah, writing someone else's Foundry character, that's a very different experience because there's one person you can go talk to. It's like, is this right?
All right. Well, we will hope that the Foundry editor becomes available for real in the coming week. Obviously, we're still waiting for that to get our 26th Century Mission Challenge underway. As soon as that comes back up, then we will be working on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But for now, we can all sign off and go watch the latest Discovery if it's available for you. Obviously, some of us don't get it till tomorrow. I think the Netflix guys don't for international.
Yeah, but you also get it on Netflix, so.
I just realized something. There's 2 of the USS Discovery flying around.
Oh, because it's when we're in a team, allied NPCs also scale up too.
So only 2 of the allied NPCs lived?
Must have been.
Apparently. Or it just scales up in... Yeah, I don't know how exactly the scaling works across...
basically different... So of the entire groups you can see in the editor, different ones will show up depending on the size of the team. That's what that NPC scaling article...
We should have all of them show up, right?
All of them will never show up. It alternates.
Oh.
So it has been documented which ones will show up when. It's a little tricky. I have been trying to redo that article with like some actual like graphics and stuff. But that's something I need to get back to.
Yeah,
because it is kind of important.
Yeah, and just for going through this one, especially since when StarfererTheta wrote this one, players weren't really doing too much with the teaming. So now it's more of a thing with Legion of Myth and what we're doing right now.
It's fun.
Yeah,
it's nice to know that it works pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, Legion of Myth has kind of encountered the teaming bug kind of comes and goes. So sometimes they'll be able to get through a mission, no problem, and then the next time they try, they're splitting up every map. So
we need to see what happens now after this latest patch, which did have some Foundry fixes, and one of those. It's always possible that one of those unintentionally fixed the teaming bug.
Well, that's in effect right now. That was patched last Thursday.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we'll keep an eye on it.
We'll be waiting for the next Legion of Myth to see how their test goes.
Yeah.
And we can also, we'll see like if they immediately hit the teaming bug, then hey, we know what's going on. But I'm going to say if they don't, we might want to just try another one of these. And then if someone out there has a recommendation for a mission we want to try, go ahead and send it to us, or you can send it over to Legion Myth if you want those guys to take a look at it too. Yep. It'd be cool to try this out again sometime.
Yeah, we used to do these mission playthroughs a lot more often, and then we kind of stopped because of the teaming bug.
Yeah. But I'd love to be able to get back to doing more of these. So, but for now, I think we will say goodnight and thank you to Admiral Aaron for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me. It was fun.
We'll get you to explode next time.
Exactly.
Right?
Good night, everybody.
Good night.